Wherever you are. Hang on, sorry, just a second. Sorry. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, it's Greenstone time. We just started. No, sorry, mine's at 11. That's all right. Yeah, sorry, difficult with the times at the moment, the time difference as well. How about tomorrow when you arrive? Yeah, let's do tomorrow. No, okay, next week. Perfect. All right then. Look forward to seeing you. Yeah. Take care. All right. Bye-bye. Sorry about that. WhatsApp group chat blowing up. Nightmare. So where was I? Wherever you are, out for a walk, gazing at the sunset, or with your family at dinner, there's always that one text that takes you out of that present moment. We've all done it. I've done it. As you look at me, notice where you're seated. You aren't just facing me, but rather others opposite you as well. I may be standing here as one person talking to all of you, but ultimately we're here together for the same reason: to tell a story. Look up and adjust your eyes to the horizon. Align with that person sitting opposite you. Who do you see? What stories do you read in them? Focus on them now and think, how would it feel if you spoke to them? Now I want you to imagine those people as an open book. They aren't just faces, they're stories waiting to be explored. But here's where it gets interesting. When we engage in a conversation, whether it's to a stranger or a close friend, they're exactly like that open book. With each tale, recount, and opinion, their story becomes a page within a chapter within their chronicle. You listening to them is reading their story. But here again, this is where it gets interesting. When we speak, we aren't just readers, but writers. With every word that we share, we're contributing to the narrative collectively. And that, my friends, that is the magic of conversation. A conversation, chatter, heart-to-heart talk. It goes by many names and manifests differently for each of us. Yet at its core, a conversation embodies both the art of listening and speaking. It's a dynamic exchange where we walk away having learnt something new or shared something we hadn't before considered. This realization has been brewing within me over the past few years of navigating adolescence. It's the awareness that the art of conversation transcends mere dialogue. It's about being present, receptive, actively engaged in that moment of connection, ignoring your phone when it buzzes in your pocket. It fascinates me how our earliest stages of communication as a child rooted us in our social interactions. Not too long ago, when I was 8, my boredom looked like this. No TV, except on the weekends. No iPod and no phone. I'd often scurry to my brother's room, where we'd use our hands to animate the stuffed animals we had. We'd give them quirky voices and interesting personalities. They formed bands and took on these gigs. They also became a hairdresser or a truck driver. It was crazy. Of course, they were inanimate, but that didn't matter. In fact, it laid a foundational pillar growing my love for storytelling today. Those interactions with my siblings and friends built bridges of connection, friendship through our expressions together. But fast forward now, what do you think that same setting looks like? Kids are handed phones at increasingly younger ages to fill these gaps of boredom in cars, at restaurants, and other moments for insightful talks, robbing them of the opportunity to develop crucial and critical interpersonal skills together. Kids are given phones to keep in touch, or is it really for the parents to squeeze in that quick chat while the child is in the corner? Ironically, this causes a significant decrease in the vocabulary that they hear. This trend underscores the importance of the face-to-face communications we have in creating brain pathways. As AI and other artificial technologies rise, we must honor these physical interactions without letting them fade away. So how do we reclaim the art of conversation in an age dominated by screens? And how can we bridge the gap between digital and interpersonal communication? And why? Why do I care about people talking anyways? These questions rang in my head, days and nights at a time, charged by my passion for human chemistry and social dynamics. Amid the daily interactions we have, I've often wondered why the very last meal of the day represents so much. Breakfast is hailed as a crucial start, lunch a hasty affair, but to me, dinner held a different weight. It's a unique account to hear about the day's happenings and a chance to reconnect. I recall a particular dinner, actually, where I found myself alone, deliberately leaving my phone behind. Initially feeling vulnerable and exposed, I gradually embraced that stillness, that sense of boredom. So then on, meals became more than just sustenance. They became my gateway to understanding others. I began to appreciate the harmony in the talks where we embraced the differences around us. Love, respect, and openness became guiding principles where every voice is heard and cherished. Again, I let these thoughts sit with me for nights at a time. Last year, I had the unique opportunity and joined forces with former grade 12 students Tirta and Kalea. Their project, Voices of Silence, promoted individuals speaking out against social justice issues through interviews. Embarking on this, we embraced the profound impact a simple conversation can have. We witnessed the emotional exchange between the listeners and the victims, underscoring the true depths storytelling can have. Having captured these people fueled my passion for photography and film. But this year, however, I felt this yearning to step in front of that lens. The potential of this spiraled my projects into motion. People sharing their sentimental encounters across from each other at a dinner table. And from this momentum, my project was born, celebrating the global intergenerational wisdom and knowledge all of us have here. Siapa lagi kalau bukan kita? If not us, then who? Values of love, harmony, and community evolved the Italian name Viva Voce, the living voice in English. It encapsulates the cozy yet relaxed environment akin to gathering around a campfire where ideas flow freely and connections blossom. Existing projects like Human Library and Jeffersonian dinners formed the recipe for how my dinners came to be. They're ideas of jumping beyond small talk, unjudging people, and tapping into each other's passion. Starting with that simple question we all had in our youth: why? The concept was ready, but we needed one more element, the secret sauce, some like to call it. I introduced topics at each table to evoke memories and stories. Questions from, who's your favorite teacher of all time, to what random act of kindness from a stranger do you remember forever? And so off I went, jumping into a whirlwind of event logistics, coordinating food, juggling table arrangements, and even last-minute venue changes, Greenstone style. Chaos had its own recipe for success, and Thursday came around and the clock struck 5:30. Dapur Nagar came to life, and Ibu Kadek's Balinese delights opened the space, with the elegant decor surrounding the space with paku pipit and marigolds. The ambience was set, and in the blink of an eye, 30 guests gathered, parents, teachers, and students. Faces lit up with eager anticipation, ready to engage in spirited discussions together. I moved among the tables and soaked in the rich tapestry of the stories that surrounded. Laughter filled the air, ideas flowed freely, and connections blossomed. It was a beautiful symphony of personalities harmonizing together at varying frequencies together. As the evening evolved, a sense of ease settled amongst the crowd. But then came that unexpected twist. Before dessert, I invite all of you to swap seats and join with someone new. Shock rippled through the crowd, but with a mix of sighs and curiosity, people embraced that change. The shuffle sparked new chemistry, igniting fresh conversations straight out of the oven. It was a reminder that words bridge gaps between individuals and cultivate these lasting relationships. I saw the living voice, the Viva Voce. So from this, I'd like to announce from these events that I've raised... No. This project wasn't about money. No fundraising goals, no charity drives. Quantity meant nothing. What I sought was quality, the quality of our genuine connections and the joy of our shared moments. This project is about stepping away from the digital frenzy and the busy lives that we have, where being together, alive and present is everything. This is the gift of human connection, the real treasure, far more precious than anything material. It's the beauty of this is that anyone, anywhere can create these moments. So instead of me recounting all the talks and conversations that filled the space at Viva Voce, I'm truly honored to share with you a glimpse of what the living voice means to these amazing individuals. Enjoy.
Conversations. We listen, we speak, we curate and share. But in our fast-paced world, how much truly stays with us? How often do we embrace the flow of talking to another person?
We have a subject that we're going to talk about or something where we're going to try and be vulnerable, but to put ourselves in a position, which I felt here, where you're in a position of challenging yourself, just how great it is to meet people that you don't know and to try and connect with them.
To be sitting at a table with 6 other people and all of our phones were in our pockets. I always have my phone in close proximity.
Feel comfortable around strangers and feel safe.
Hear their stories and their opinions and their experiences of life and the journey that they've had so far.
How fun conversation can be, and when we're really in the mode of being open and being good listeners.
The art of communication, the art of looking people in the eyes, engaging and not trying to answer or put my point across.
And by the time we left, we were friends, basically. So how fast that connection happened.
It's a very human evening, really.
Having the cards was a really great takeaway because everybody gets a chance to say their bit and what comes up for them. And often in conversation, you feel like if you're not in there quickly or with a louder voice or something funnier, you get lost.
You answer one of the questions and then the conversation just sort of flows. And then you go from that into another conversation, and then just like that, I've been talking to these strangers for a while.
In the first iteration, it was very much we were focused on the questions and the procedure of that. And then in the second time, it was just open dialogue, and I think people had already been warmed up by the question.
After the switch, I think the energy rose up a little.
Because I ended up sitting next to Jonathan, who's an architect. And as I've just said, I'm a closet architect. I've always wanted to be an architect.
People I've not spoken to, you get the conversation flowing, and then just like that, you get to know each other, and the kind of awkwardness goes away.
So I think if I was going to write a question, I would, how have your parents impacted you positively and negatively?
What is the next step that you need to take with your life?
Can you point to a moment in your childhood that might have informed or had an impact on you living in Bali today?
What's your go-to conversation starter? Because you know what you're talking about with that, and everyone else does, and then you...
Artificial intelligence. Positive contribution or destruction?
Because I think if we can learn to feel more and use more of our senses, we'll actually understand what's going on in the chaos of all this information that we live in.
What is the meaning of life?
Viva Voce honors storytelling and togetherness. We ask more than, how is your day? We celebrate our wisdom, connect deeply, and put away distractions. Let these moments be more than words. Let them be lessons we pass on. Slow down, harmonize, and embrace the cross-pollination of ideas together.
I wanted to bottle up the essence from that very night and share the magic of Viva Voce with all of you here. This is an evolving project, and today marks a milestone I'm truly proud of. To continue to ground us with the awesome stories around us, these events can serve as access points for everyone, encouraging you to have that ramble you've always wanted. I wanted to extend this ethos beyond the confines of the dinner table and offer something that you can take away. No, it's not the eloquent tales of Viva Voce wine, crafted from meticulous grapes and grown in pristine vineyards. Instead, it's an array of conversation-sparking questions from the night of Viva Voce. Perfect for Thanksgiving, breaking fasts, Christmas dinner, New Year's. Add your ingredients. Powered by your conversations. VivaVoce.com will stand as a radiant platform for inspiration and treasury. Through its resources, you can charge up and learn to host one of these own memorable dinners for yourself. And so, at your next soiree, you can proudly announce that Viva Voce is on the menu. Before I continue, however, I'd like to mention a special highlight from these dinners. I had the pleasure of hosting our beloved Ibu Harriet at my initial dinner. Her presence and everybody that joined the space brought warmth. This germinated the idea of these projects and these dinners becoming a monthly or semesterly event, branching this further out to the community. So today, I'm delighted to announce that I pass on the baton of Viva Voce to Pak Jim. Together, this will be a passion that many more of you can have the opportunity to experience. Your stories will power here locally at Green School or with you at your next table featuring the living voice. And so tonight, have dinner. But don't just have dinner though. Have dinner with conversation. Put away distractions and ask away with your questions. But let's go deeper than just asking, how was your day? Perhaps this becomes a weekly or even monthly thing in your family or in your household. And perhaps when you rush to the next thing, just say, let's have a chat. Thank you. Thank you. I want to take a quick moment to extend my appreciation to all of you that came and supported both nights of Viva Voce. And to those, I invite you to take a moment and stand up quickly. Those of you that came, thank you. Thank you for being part of this journey. Thank you for being part of this story I've shared today. Without you guys, the living voice would not be living. I also want to extend my gratitude to Ibu Harriet, Ibu Kate, Belinda, Pac George, and everybody else that were a part of this journey and making this a reality. And of course to you, Pac Jim, for taking on this and allowing this to continue to happen at the Green School community. And of course, my brother and my family, thank you for being here at every roadblock and every hurdle along the way and every triumph that I had. Thank you everybody for being here today as well.